Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at FreshBooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to Tech News Weekly. I'm your host, Andrew Zarian. I'm joined by Suncast, as I am each and every week. How you doing, Suncast?
Hey, what's up, Andrew? How's it going?
Nothing much. I actually, at the start of every show, I hate doing a picks of the week because I have an awful pick every week. You have an unbelievable pick. I have an awful pick every week. And this week, I think I have something that
No,
will
you
top
can never
everybody.
beat what I have this week.
Oh, you have
Never.
something good, too.
Yeah.
You don't think I'll be able
I
to
have
beat
the
you?
best.
The best pick ever.
Yes.
You sure about that? Because I think my pick is a little better.
No, can't be.
Okay.
Never.
If you say so. This is a show where we run down the top stories of the week in technology. I do want to tell you before we start that to go to our website, guysfromqueens.com. If you miss any of our shows or if you want to check out any of our other shows that we have on the network, we have about 13 shows on the network now. So if you go to guysfromqueens.com, you can check it out there. Or if you're watching on any number of our streaming partners, such as Stickam, Justin TV, Ustream, Stitcher Radio, you can go to our website, gfqlive.tv, and chat with us. We have a great chat in there, about 30 people in there right now, so it's building up. I do want to start off the show by talking about the Verizon teaming up with Redbox. Actually, we had two streaming stories this week, which strategically, I'm sure they were placed, but Verizon announced a deal with Coinstar, the parent company of Redbox, that they are going to be doing a streaming service together. They're going to be partnering in this.
Yeah, they said that Verizon was looking for somebody to do something with.
Well,
Or was it the other way around?
No.
that Redbox was looking for
No,
somebody?
Verizon was looking for somebody for a while, and a lot of people thought it could potentially be Amazon because Amazon already has the infrastructure, or even Blockbuster to some extent. They were thinking some sort of team up. I know Blockbuster is doing something with one of the satellite companies right now, so that kind of went out of the picture.
That was all, industry insiders saying what they think was going to happen.
Yeah, I even read a couple weeks ago that on CNET that Vudu was going to become a streaming movie partner for them. So I guess that's all out of the bag, and it's Verizon. Verizon will be owning 65% of this new joint venture, and Redbox will own the rest. I don't know. I don't know if this will work.
They're still going to keep their Redbox things totally separate. Too.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally
This
separate.
is an entirely new company that Verizon and Redbox are creating.
Yeah, totally separate.
Yeah.
They're saying that this is going to be teamed up with their Fios. I was just reading this today that they're going to actually be putting this together with Fios in some way and integrating it with Fios also. So if you are a Verizon customer, this might potentially take over your video on demand service. So what they might do is say, you know what, instead of video on demand, you're going to have this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Verizon could be a serious competitor, but Netflix pretty much controls this entire thing. When you're looking at it, I mean, Netflix is the dominant force in this.
Netflix has had a pretty rough 12 months in the past 12 months. So they're not on a solid footing as they once were. Netflix was basically a new kid on a block that came out of nowhere and just owned streaming on the internet as far as
Yeah, but
movies.
here's the thing about Netflix. I'll tell you something about Netflix. Yeah, Netflix has been criticized the last couple months, and people are dropping the service because of the price hike, and they did a bad PR job at kind of presenting what they're doing. But the service is still phenomenal. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think Netflix has suffered as far as the service goes, and I don't really know too many people that complain about the Netflix streaming service. I mean, yeah, you do need higher speeds and you need a good broadband provider, but I don't hear people say, "Oh, it's Netflix is awful. There's nothing on Netflix." The only thing that
but Netflix comes with a lot of TVs now. A lot of TVs are set up so that you can do Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of TVs are. So they have the partnership deals. I don't know if this is necessarily going to hurt Netflix in any way. I mean, it might
Well, we
take
don't
some of
even
their
know
business,
how
but
Netflix like this new service is going to be. They all they did was basically announce that they're forming a partnership with Redbox to create some new streaming service. We don't know what it all entails, what the details of it are, how it's going to work, how they're going to integrate it, what they're going to do with it, what content they're going to have, etc. That sort of thing. We don't know if it's going to be very similar to Netflix, if it's going to be something like Amazon did, or if it's going to be something completely different and integrated into the Verizon Fios service and only the Verizon Fios service.
yeah, but you know what's interesting? I'll tell you something about them. Verizon has a capability of really pushing this out there and making it a numbers game because they do have the Verizon Fios TV service. They are a cable provider. They have the potential of saying, well, look, it's in 3 million homes from the, or whatever. I'm just throwing a number. I don't know the exact number, but they could do the numbers game where it might show that they have a dominance over Netflix because they already have the set-top box.
About Verizon Fios, though, is that I honestly think that, Verizon Fios is a large company, but I don't think it's as large as, it doesn't have the same reach that Netflix does currently.
No.
Verizon Fios is not in as many markets as, say, Comcast or Time Warner is in.
No, and they've actually pulled back from deployment, and they're not deploying anymore. That's the interesting thing. Verizon's plan for 2012, early in the year, I believe late last year, they released this video, and it was showing that where they're planning on going with their on-demand service and with their hardware, and they're pretty much saying that they want to eliminate the set-top box to begin with. They want to go smaller and smaller to the point that you don't have a set-top box and you have a device. Right. Now, we don't know what this device is. They were saying how your iPad could be your set-top or your computer could be your set-top. I don't think that's an option that a lot of people are going to take, and they do want to run the set-top. But they are going towards this streaming model. They might be very successful at it. I don't know, but this is just
I'm
another...
certainly hoping that they'll be successful and that it's going to appeal to more than just Verizon Fios customers.
Listen, the more competition, the better.
I think that they right now it's just Verizon Fios is a niche market, really, when you look at it compared to Comcast and Time Warner. It just does not have the same reach. So whatever they're doing with Redbox, it's going to have the same reach because you can still have partnerships with other companies that are much more larger in terms of who they can reach, who their viewerships are.
The Vizio you got, you just got a Vizio 47-inch. What it has Netflix built in, right?
Yeah, it comes with this thing called Vizio Internet Apps. It actually has built-in Wi-Fi and an Ethernet port if you wanted to go wire. But I set it up on my Wi-Fi network, and I can actually use what are actually based off Yahoo Connected TV widgets. That's what the Vizio Internet Apps really are, and it actually comes on other brands of TV as well. I think Samsung does some of that as well, and Sony Bravia might have those same apps. And it comes with Netflix, Amazon, Vudu, and a host of other ones.
Not Hulu, though?
It does have Hulu Plus.
Oh, it has Hulu Plus. Oh,
that's
okay.
the thing about these internet apps is that a lot of these services you still have to have a subscription for in order to use them on your TV.
I think Hulu Plus is actually... I gave it a lot of crap early on, but it's not bad at all. But, it just shows you that the streaming services are in your homes now. So it might become a dominant force. I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet. And I'll give you one thing is that, I think all these internet-connected TVs still just don't have sort of success and sort of functionality that I would be looking for, or that maybe most people would be looking for. It's still kind of cumbersome. It's still that web TV kind of deal, where it just doesn't come together and meld well.
Yeah, well, that's been the problem. Actually, something that connects with the story, and I brought it up earlier, was that Amazon and Viacom have reached a deal to bring more TV shows to Amazon Prime Instant Service. I believe it's MTV. Viacom is the owner of MTV, Comedy Central, BET, VH1, Spike, Nickelodeon, and a whole bunch of other ones. No, I was going to say USA, but that's NBC Universal. So now you have this on your Prime, on your Instant Watch. How are they going to do this? Now, this is strange because the way that Instant Watch works, if you are a Amazon Prime member, you have Amazon Instant Video service. You could watch
Yeah,
things.
let me clarify that. If you are the primary Amazon Prime
Yes.
account holder, this is not because with Amazon Prime, you can actually add up to 4 family members or friends, and they'll get some of the benefits of Prime membership, but they won't actually get the main benefits of everything. They won't get like all the instant video stuff. You'll still have to pay for all of that.
But even if you are the primary, all those instant videos, not every instant video that they have is free.
No, and I was now that I have this new HD
It's bizarre
TV,
to
I was
me.
checking all of this stuff out. What can I actually access through Amazon Prime?
It's
instant
nothing.
videos?
It's awful. What they offer you very little, and I was surprised
And the
because
stuff that they do offer are just like stuff that I could care less about.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through probably 10 pages. I actually looked online because it's just so much easier to look online. And I went through like 10 pages of what it is that they have free. And it's just absolutely, I maybe saw 2 things that were interesting, but it's just like, it's nothing.
and all
that
the stuff,
great.
all the stuff you want to watch, you got to pay like $2.99 per episode. You know,
Right.
that's a
Even
problem.
the free stuff, it's very difficult to find what's free and what the good stuff is. You can sort it by popularity, but even stuff that's popular, it's just like junk to me.
I wonder now, all these TV shows, are they going to allow you to watch them on Instant Watch, if you are an Amazon Prime member, or this is just stuff you need, another thing you're going to end up paying for?
Does it really matter? It's MTV, Comedy Central, BET, VH1, and Spike, and Nickelodeon. Who watches these channels?
A lot of people do. A lot of people do.
People that like iCarly.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to pay the $2.99? That's the thing. Are these people going to watch? I mean, what's on VH1 that you want to watch? Okay, fine, Mob Wives. Yeah, if Mob Wives is streaming for free, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to pay $2.99.
They want $2.99 per episode, $3.99 if it's HD or something like that. And at that point, when you're trying to go through a season, or even if you're looking to watch 5 shows at $3, that's $15 you just blew on watching TV shows. I think it's a little bit of expensive when you're doing it that way.
No, it is. And you also have to remember, these are channels that actually replay their content over and over again.
Right.
Go ahead. You pick the
I
next story.
don't think it's that big of a deal that they've got these Viacom networks now. I really don't. I mean, I don't see. To me personally, it's not going to benefit me. It might benefit some. You can watch Jersey Shore now.
No, yeah. Sorry, I had to run off. You pick the next story.
We've been talking about this back and forth all day. Is this whole Microsoft and ARM thing? Microsoft came out and gave a whole bunch of details now for Windows ARM, because for most of the year we've been kind of wondering, what is this whole Windows 8 and ARM deal really going to be like? Is this going to be what you said was going to be a watered down version of Windows 8 on a tablet and these ARM devices? Or is it going to be full-blown Windows? And now we finally have an answer, is that it is going to be full-blown Windows.
Yeah.
And they're going to have an emphasis on, I believe, basically Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Office applications is going to be their main focus with these applications and Windows on ARM.
Well, I actually didn't think they would do this, and I thought what they would do on the ARM device was just a Metro environment. But then I started thinking, well, you're going to have the Metro environment. You're going to have the ARM devices as netbooks also, so it really wouldn't work well. Or even low-end, PCs, it wouldn't really be that functional for them. I'm actually really happy that they're doing this, because it's full Windows. I mean, you're not getting a watered-down Windows.
Right.
You have all the access that you want that you would get on the Intel system. How is this what does this mean for the expensive Windows tablets now? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm curious about is that they're saying that their focus is on these Office applications, being able to do Word, Excel. How easy is it going to be to do that on a touch-only device? Because this is something that has plagued touch devices since the beginning of time, is being able to effectively use these for production and being able to be productive on these touch-enabled devices.
Well, I've seen a lot of people, but I've seen a lot of people use the iPad as, and they type away on this glass device, and I've seen them. They're working well for them. I don't think it's as good as a keyboard, but I guess it's better than nothing, right?
Part of it, these touch devices just are not set up the same way for extensive typing as
No.
it is like a keyboard, because that's we're used to doing like this with the keyboard, but you have this touch device like this, and you're trying to go like this, and it doesn't necessarily work the same. You have to set it down like this, and then when you use it as you would a normal keyboard, but that just isn't exactly practical because you're used to having a screen up in front of you and a keyboard down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I am glad that they are doing a full Windows on these devices.
Oh, I'm ecstatic about it because that opens up possibilities of being able to do more than just what a normal tablet may be able to do.
But here's the other thing.
Actually install Adobe Photoshop on it. I don't know if it'll work well, but it opens up the possibility of being able to run programs like that.
Well, here's the issues here. One, what are they going to do with the pricing? Because the license is not cheap on these for Windows. Two, the hardware is not that great, so are you going to have people, like you said, trying to run Photoshop on a ARM device and it failing? But also the software needs to be compatible. So Photoshop could say, we're not compatible on this device.
Right.
I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. So it's going to be, the confusion is going to be there regardless. We, the users, have to be reconditioned.
It's going to be less confusing now, though, that I think that some applications that we thought would never work will be able to work, because that's what we were thinking. It's like, all right, if this is only the Metro user interface, then none of the apps that we had previously are going to work. This opens up the possibility of some of the applications that we thought wouldn't work will work.
Yeah, I actually have some screenshots here from Paul Thurrott's Win Super site. So, I mean, it's a nice looking UI. I mean, they've really done a good job. And the store looks, the everything about it looks really nice. I like the store a lot. I like the way that the photos work. The email client looks really good. Here's actually Office OneNote, Office 15 OneNote. Here's PowerPoint. So they've done a good job at the integration, and they're still working on it. The one thing I was worried is that you're going to have these Metro UI, softwares and apps that look great, and then when you go into Windows mode, it's almost like you're going backwards. But they seem to kind of be, even in like regular classic mode, the applications seem to kind of fit.
But how much
better.
is all this really going to cost us? Because we were talking earlier.
Yeah. So
how much are tablets going to cost? Because when you look at the price points that tablets are selling these days, they're not going for more than $300.
Well, that's exactly what we were saying. That the idea is that the ARM Windows 8 tablets are going to be the inexpensive tablets, the lower end tablets. So I was thinking maybe $299, $399, $499, while the Intel ones are going to be the $799 tablets.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's a full version of Windows, I don't know if they are going to market it that way. I hope they do. I hope they do market the ARM tablets as the iPad competition and the Android competition.
Looking at the trends,
but now that there's no separation,
that Apple's iPad is the only tablet that has been able to sell at a higher cost, around $500. No other tablet has really taken off at that price point other than the iPad. So as Windows tablets, are they going to be able to command that sort of cost, that sort of premium, the same as the iPad? Or are people going to expect it to be as cheap as these Android devices, these Android tablets are?
I don't know. I hope they are. But I don't think first of all, I don't think we'll ever see a $199 Windows 8 tablet. The licensing...
It's kind of like Uber Geek just said. It's somewhat of a fad right now. These tablets are still a fad. In order to get people interested in a fad, it has to be at a price that people don't say it's too much of a risk.
I don't think... I, again, am going to tell you, I don't think any tablet is going to be successful in this market. Currently, I mean, I'm talking about without Windows 8 being on the market, because we don't know yet. But currently, no tablet is going to be successful on the market competing with the iPad at that price point.
Right.
Microsoft has a chance to actually be competition because they are offering you, here's Windows on a tablet. You might say, you know what, maybe I'll pay $599 for this because I have everything
you
here.
understand a little bit more about what you're getting, and that it's going to actually offer probably a little bit more functionality than you're used to with the Android tablets that are out now.
Yeah, because they're utterly useless currently, in my opinion. I think ice cream sandwiches are good. They are useless, and that's the truth about them. Comparing it to what you can do, I'm going with the price point of $499, right? Let's go with the $499 price point.
Okay.
If you're going to spend $499 and theoretically Windows 8 is out already, right? Windows 8, the iPhone, the iPad, and Android. I don't know why you would pick Android for any reason other than you are looking to tweak it and play with it. I mean, the average user, I don't understand why they would go that way. If you take my opinion, I would either go with the iPad if you want to stay, you want to enter that UI, or you go with Windows, which is the best bet because you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it's for $499. You can actually buy an entire laptop with Windows on it.
Yeah, that's $500. You can get a really good laptop for Windows on it. I mean, that's another thing. But the ARM chipsets, I think they're going to be priced at $399. I think that's going to be the entry level for the ARM chips. If they're $299, I mean, I hope they're $299 because they'll sell a whole lot of them.
Yeah, but then again, they have a chance here to possibly charge more than what we see with these inexpensive budget tablets, but then also be somewhat towards the iPad.
Yeah, and also you have to remember there's going to be competition. You're not locked to one device selling Windows 8. You're going to have multiple companies.
With Android. You see a bunch of manufacturers coming out with an Android-based tablet.
Yeah, but you know what the thing about Android is? The software is crappy. I mean, prior to Ice Cream Sandwich, in my opinion. I think anything prior to Ice Cream Sandwich is not good.
So then that's going to really change things around because then we should start seeing Android 4.0 tablets coming out soon, right?
Yeah, we should.
In addition to Windows tablets for the first time.
Yeah, I think by the time the Windows 8 tablet comes out, we're going to be at another version of Google Android, and we're going to have the next version of iOS. So it's going to be a little different. I mean, we can kind of see
it's going to be a different market.
Yeah.
When all this stuff finally happens, so we can speculate as much as we want right now, but we don't really know until all this starts coming out. Because that's just the way that the tech world works. 6 months from now is going to be completely different.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to all find out what this is like in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Hey, John just came in. Why don't you go into another story?
Let's talk about Microsoft announcing that they're not going to include the Windows Start Orb. And I'm going to use the technically correct term here that Paul Thurrott says I should use, which is the Start Orb.
Yeah, we had a big discussion with Paul the other day about there's a big difference between the Start button and the Start Orb.
Yeah, he put out a post on Win Super site that I read, and it's interesting, but I see two sides of this entire story. Microsoft says that they're not going to do this anymore, and that's scaring a lot of people. Part of that is because they're not explaining this very well, that they're removing the Start Orb. But technically, the functionality is still there. You can still hit the Windows key on your keyboard or the Windows key on your device. Mm-hmm. That's what they mean by a start button. When they say start button, they mean an actual physical key.
Button. Yeah. They mean a physical button or key. They don't mean the one on the computer.
Right.
Okay.
But that's still because a lot of people traditionally now they use their mouse to navigate to the Start Orb and click on that.
Okay.
And now they're not going to necessarily have that Start Orb. It's not going to be labeled the same way as what it is. It's going to be more like the Show Desktop section is on the right side of your taskbar, where you hover over that or you click it and it shows your desktop. It's going to be the same thing for the Charms bar now is what they're calling it. So you can hover over it, click it, and it's going to show the Charms bar now with an actual limited start menu, as it were.
So let me ask you, do you use the physical start key on your keyboard?
All the time.
Do you really?
All the time.
I never use it.
Really? You just use your mouse, or what do you use?
But you know what? I can't because I use a Mac every day.
Yeah.
My Windows machines are the production machines.
That's what scares me though, is how limited is this functionality in terms to what we have now, because I'm a power user and I use the start menu all the time. I basically use this as what Quick Launch used to be when you had Windows 2000, Windows ME, when you had Quick Launch. I kind of do that with the start menu, where I pin a bunch of my favorite programs to the start menu, and that's how I use it. So without that there, if I can't pin anything to the Charms bar, how do I access my favorite programs? Do I have to go to the Metro UI to access those programs now? Or what do I do?
Yeah. I don't know, but again, this is a beta, so if enough people complain and they realize that people hate it, that they will probably take it down.
Yeah, I mean, this is
They'll take it out.
It's interesting what Microsoft is doing because they're trying to play two worlds, two things at the same time that are technically completely separate, different ways of doing things and computing. You're talking about touch-enabled devices versus traditional desktop PCs where you're sitting right in front of it with a mouse and a keyboard. That's completely different than touch-enabled devices that they're trying to make Windows 8 for. That's what it kind of feels like, is that they made Windows 8 more for touch-enabled devices than they did for the traditional PC.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how I'm gonna like it. I stayed away from that first release that they put out, and within next week, everybody's getting it next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm trying to remain positive here. I've read a lot of information, a lot of stories, a lot of blogs this entire week regarding the removal of the start button, the start orb, and there's a lot of power users out there that are very unsure and unhappy about why Microsoft is doing this and what the results will be in terms of how we actually use Windows 8, if it's going to still be able to do what we want it to do in the manner that we want to use it, or we're going to have to drastically change the way that we use the start menu.
Google Wallet's flaws lets attackers view card info. There was a story a couple days ago that regarding brute force methods to access people's personal Google Wallet pins on their device. I don't know how I feel about this stuff. Like, I know a lot of people are upset that Google Wallets was not on the
Google Wallets.
Google Wallet. I put an S at the end of everything. Jesus, I don't know why. The Facebooks and the Googles, the Google Wallet service. But what they're doing is when this phone came out a couple months ago, people were really upset that Google Wallet was not installed on this version. It was only on the GSM version that it was enabled. I don't really want to do this. I don't feel comfortable having all my credit card information on here and just moving it in front of a device and paying for stuff. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's still somewhat of a novel idea. I've always had issue with RFID technology for this sort of use because it is something that, even with RFID stuff and just technology these days, everything is hackable. And as it turns out now is that Google Wallet actually has two vulnerabilities. One that's extremely easy to exploit and one that's a little bit less easy to exploit. The first vulnerability was that it only works if you have a rooted device, which not everybody has. The other one is that you can actually reset Google Wallet on the device and then enter a new PIN and everything, and then you'll see the attached card to that device because it doesn't actually store it with Google. It stores it on the device.
I don't. Would you? You don't feel comfortable doing this, right? Would you do this? I don't know. And I've asked a couple people about this if they would actually put their credit card information on their phone theoretically and just swipe it in front of something and it checks them out.
It's not only that; it's too easy to lose your phone.
Yeah. Well, even if you lose your phone, I think there are some security things, but people are able to grab information all the time. And how many people are going to put in a code like 111? Normal people don't use passcodes. You know how many people I know?
ATM debit cards.
When I was doing when I worked for that company and I was doing IT, the boss wanted everybody to have their passcode for everything they did on a on top, like taped to their computer, like on a Post-it, and he wanted everybody's information there. And I was thinking, I'm like, why would you do that? The point of a passcode is that nobody knows it.
Right.
But he wanted everything like that. Everything was public for everybody. And most people have that mentality where they're putting easy, 1 2 3 4 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2. Yeah. So through easy manipulation, you could get in there.
Right.
I just don't want. There should be no more
Google
passwords.
does say that they are going to fix at least one of these vulnerabilities. I don't know if they're going to fix both of them, but I do know that Google said that they are going to at least fix one of these vulnerabilities. It's still scary though that you can do something like that so easily. It doesn't take anybody with any sort of software knowledge of using a device. It's very, very, very easy. Any layman could technically take your phone, reset it, enter a new PIN, and access your credit card information. It doesn't require any sort of skill set whatsoever. That's the scary part.
We're a society that just learned to lock our routers. And the only reason why these routers are locked is because they do it for us.
Right.
You have to remember that. One interesting story I saw was that Halliburton is dropping the BlackBerry in favor of Apple iOS. This is a strange story considering they are a pretty large company. And this just shows you that enterprise is kind of moving away from BlackBerry.
Yeah.
How many people? They're saying about 70,000 employees who work for Halliburton in more than 70 countries over the next year will begin to expand on their mobile technology by transitioning from BlackBerry platform to use of iPhone and iOS.
Yeah, this is very interesting because for a long time, RIM has had a very strong hold on the enterprise world. They've been the go-to smartphone for businesses because of its manageability, because of the BlackBerry Enterprise server. It's so up to speed for what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I find it interesting. Spokesperson for Halliburton confirmed a technology shift. Apple Insider reported that approximately 4,500 Halliburton employees currently have BlackBerries. They're making a transition
and the fact that, even now that these enterprise businesses are going to take a look and actually seriously switch to the iPhone, I think that speaks volumes to where iPhone was, where BlackBerry was, and where we are today.
Yeah. Before we go on, I do want to talk about our sponsor, Hover.com, domain names made simple. Big fan of Hover, as I say each and every week on every show pretty much, because I am a big fan of Hover. I renewed a bunch of my domains yesterday with them, and I make it extremely easy because it's just a one-click thing. You renew, you're done, you're out. That's it. You could use our promo code GFQ upon checkout, or very easily go to gfq.hover.com. You get 10% off your entire purchase. They have great deals on .cos, .mes, .pros. Have you heard of a .pro account?
No.
I had never heard of a .pro before this. They have .pro accounts. Pretty much everything you can imagine is at Hover. One good thing about them is that if you're looking to transfer a domain from those other guys, which many people are, after the last couple months and after the SOPA incident that those other guys had, they make it very easy by just calling them, and they do it for you for free. There's no extra charge to transfer a domain. You just pay for that 1 year of service, which is about $10, and you're done. Very easy, very simple. They do all the work for you. No hold time when you call them either, so that's great. That's hover.com. You go to gfq.hover.com, and you get 10% off your entire purchase. Thank you, Hover.
One thing I want to mention before we move on from that story is that Halliburton isn't the only one doing this. There's also NOAA, the atmospheric organization that does all the weather stuff. They're also ditching BlackBerry to go for iPhones and iPads.
Really?
So it's not just one company.
But you know what it comes down to, Suncast? I don't think it comes down to the security anymore. I don't think these companies really understand it or care. It's whatever phone that they want at this point. At one point,
but in this article, Halliburton actually states that they feel that the iPhone is more secure than BlackBerry is.
Yeah, that's an interesting statement to make.
Fascinating, because RIM has a long-standing history of being very secure, and honestly, one of the only smartphone manufacturers in the world that can have their smartphones government certified for use.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think iPhone is more secure than BlackBerry, but I guess these companies really don't care.
It says Apple's iOS offers greater security capabilities and control when considering future app development. That's what it comes down to, is that word right there is future app development. People want applications, and BlackBerry just isn't it.
Yeah, very interesting. Talking about applications, Google Chrome browser arrives to Android. It's about time, which I find it really funny that Google does not have Chrome up until now. Did not have Chrome on their phone, considering that's their flagship. They have a Chrome-based browser, which is awful. I mean, the Google phone, the Google Android browser is just awful to use. But now they put Google Chrome on it. You could download it. It's a beta, so you could go download it. And I've been actually using Chrome on this, and it's really good. It's much faster than the other one. The other good browser for this phone is Dolphin, and I don't use Dolphin. I never really liked it that much, but
I've tried Dolphin before.
How do you like it?
I wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah.
Because I have the Kindle Fire here. It comes with the Amazon Silk browser. And, for my needs, I don't browse a whole lot. So I think, it doesn't make a difference to me if it's Amazon Silk browser or the Dolphin browser.
I mean, it's pretty fast. It's pretty snappy. It's a pretty good browser, and it's still in beta. So if you want to check it out, check it out. It's pretty big news for the Android community.
Check it out.
If you want to check it out, check it out. There you go. Nokia says that they don't have a plan B, which is kind of reassuring, right? That they're sticking with Windows Phone.
This is very interesting because you were very surprised that they would not have some sort of plan B.
No, not that I was surprised. You know what? I read the article the version of this article that I read, and this is the problem when you're looking for so many stories that, depending on the headline, like this if you read this, you would think, okay, you know what? They're sticking with Windows Phone when I read the article, but the original article that I read pretty much said that this is their one shot to kind of surviving, and that's not really the case. The article was saying that they're sticking with Windows Phone and they really don't plan on going to Android or going to back to MeeGo or anything else.
Symbian.
Symbian, yeah.
Whatever.
This is their go-to, which I think is great, and I think that's great for Windows Phone because these phones that they're releasing are just absolutely beautiful.
I think Windows Phone is right now a pretty safe bet. I think that they've succeeded where people thought they wouldn't.
You know what's funny though? I mean, look at where BlackBerry is and look at where they are, and look at it from last year. If you looked at this last year and said, Windows Phone will, in terms of life, in terms of surviving in the phone market, Windows Phone seems like a smart bet compared to BlackBerry. You would look at a person and think they're nuts.
I wouldn't.
We're giving, because you have a lot of knowledge on BlackBerry. But
I think the average person would be like, yeah, probably, but.
I mean, Windows Phone was. I don't want to get started on this because a lot of reviewers started, beating up Windows Phone, saying how crappy it is initially, and they released that one update with Twitter integration. It wasn't even a major update, and all of a sudden everybody changed, and everybody changed their tone and said how great it is. So we'll see what happens.
Part of that though, it comes with time. How does Microsoft treat Windows Phone over time? Is this something that kind of has that initial hype and then
you also know that Microsoft has a lot of deep pockets. I mean, RIM is starting to run out of money like Palm is. They're falling in that same category as Palm is, not being innovative enough and not moving with the technology and not keeping up.
Right.
So so one company right next, Kodak, right? Kodak is discontinuing the camera business.
Yeah, that's got a lot of people pretty sad.
So Kodak, legendary for film. When I told the story, I don't know if it was with you, but I told the story how when I had my business, I had a party supply business, like a retail store. And where I was, it was a Kodak, I guess, factory where they would make the films. They had about 2,500 employees in this factory. They laid off everybody.
Wow.
They shut its doors, and it killed the economy in that town because everybody worked for Kodak for like 20 years. 30 years there were people working there.
Here with Flint, Michigan, when the car companies went away. It killed Flint.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What companies were there?
GM.
Oh, no. Oh, I heard Card. Oh, car companies. Yeah,
car company.
I heard Card. No,
I'm sorry.
But we were thinking that Kodak would kind of go into the digital market, and now they're saying by the end of June, Kodak is phasing out the digital cameras, pocket video cameras, and digital picture frames. So they're done.
What are they left with?
I believe they have inkjet printers. They have printers. They're going to still offer the online Kodak Gallery service. You know what they'll do? They'll develop the kiosks a little more because they have a dominance in the kiosk world where you go and you print your stuff.
I don't think they can survive like that, though.
I think that they're going to have to downsize. Or what they're going to do, just like Polaroid, they're going to end up selling the name off to some other company, and they're going to sell Kodak products. I mean, this is nutty that Kodak
more likely to me. I mean, it's sad because it's a Kodak. it's been around forever, for hundreds, for like over 100 years.
Yeah, but this is another company. Exactly. They couldn't stay with the times and they couldn't innovate. They could have been dominant in the camera world, and they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to look at companies like IBM that have been able to adapt
Yeah.
over, decades.
Yeah, well, IBM, they were in an interesting position. They left the consumer market, went to enterprise, and now they're doing, enterprise services.
Yeah.
They're not really doing the computer stuff as much. Google to pay users to browse the web. This is a weird thing. If you want Google to pretty much watch everything you're doing and want to make $5, you can sign up for this service. It's called Google Screenwise program, where it'll pay volunteers, or panelists as they call them, as much as $25 in Amazon gift cards. So pretty much every 3 months, they're going to give you a $5 voucher for them to spy on you and to see what you're doing.
It's really interesting that they're doing this. What it says is that anybody that signs up, they'll have to download a browser extension, which allows Google to track their movements. So that makes me wonder, is this something that relies on the particular browser for the tracking? Or because like me and you, we have multiple browsers installed.
Yeah.
So if we didn't want everything to be tracked, we could just use
By
another browser.
By the way, they know what we're doing.
Do they?
Know. They know.
Do
they know. Yeah, I guarantee. Come on.
They're being evil.
They know.
Evil
They just.
Google.
You know what? If you know everything I'm up to, you're in everything I'm doing. I'm sure you're looking.
Yep.
You don't think Google's looking?
3 a.m. before I go to bed every night.
Just start dumping off all the files. Why do we do our picks? What do you think?
Sure.
I'm very excited about mine. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first? Do you need time
Why
to set
don't you
yourself?
go first so I can set up?
Okay, so I generally do a software pick. I never do a hardware pick. And I decided, I changed my pick at the last minute. I was going to do K-Lite, the Kodak pack. And I just remembered that I got these this week, and I absolutely love them. And it's been a great device. And a lot of people that do broadcasting online or any kind of audio stuff, a lot of people experience a ground loop problem. And it's that ticking that you hear when you pot the audio up a little bit too much, or that humming or that buzzing that you'll hear that you have no idea how to get rid of. Most of the time, it's a ground loop issue. This device, it's called it's a ground loop isolator, and it just piggybacks between your audio and your mixer or whatever the source is. So you could even use it for the TV, because a lot of people have laptops and it's not really a great sound card, and you'll have a ground loop problem. So what you do, you connect it, and it isolates. It takes away the humming and the buzzing. It's a buzz eliminator, a ground loop eliminator. You can find it in.
I need a bunch of those.
It is. I'll tell you, Suncast, it's really worth it. It took away on your channel, especially because if I had you up, you would hear a constant ticking. Tick, 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 tick,
I always
constantly.
have background noise and crap coming from my PCs here when I have headphones plugged
Yeah.
in and I have it turned up a lot. It's so annoying, and I want to get rid of that.
Yeah, this is it. Now, a lot of people have complained. If you go to the reviews, a lot of people say, well, what it does, it also takes the mid-range out. Yes, if you're connecting it to a TV or connecting it to just something, like pretty much a TV, you're going to have some sort of mid-range audio degradation, I guess. But as far as a mixer goes, that's sort of what we're doing. These things are really worth it. You can find them anywhere from $3 to $200. So start low, see if it works for you. If it doesn't work, you didn't throw away your money. You could just end up upgrading to another one. But these ones were about $7. I got them on Amazon. I think the company's called Raptor, and I got about 4 of them.
Nice.
And I just connected it to every channel, and I don't have the ground loop problem. You could hear it now. Let me see if you could hear this. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but there's a ticking. It's like almost as if you know when you're a kid and you put the baseball card between your bike, the spokes, and it goes tick 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 every time you spin the wheel. That's what it's like. This device takes it out, worth every penny if you ask me, and it really cleans up your audio. It's a ground loop isolator, and you can get it pretty much anywhere and every. There's a million companies that make them. That's
really cool.
Yeah, I told you it's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. Now let's see if you're going to be able to top
Not better than
it.
mine, though.
All right, let's see. What's your pick?
All right, so my pick this week is a XBMC add-on. XBMC is a entertainment kind of boxy-like application for watching video. You can put it on I think a home theater PC, that type of deal. And a GFQ fan of ours, Ba, aka Nick, wrote this application that grabs all of our content for us and puts it on XBMC. So let me see if I can switch the camera over to
Let's see.
XBMC here. You can see it, right?
Yep.
All right, so this is what you see when you normally boot up XBMC. You'll see videos. I already have this add-on installed, so I'll go ahead and launch it. You see it right here.
Oh, that's us. Look at that.
It's really cool because it has our live streams in it. It has most of our shows, if not all of them. You have Behind the Counter, Big Brother Rewind, I'm Just Saying, Spencer Coburn's The Ball of Truth, Tech News Weekly, Andrew Zarin Show, Chauncey Hayden Show, Free for All, News with Jessica, What the Tech, plus our live streams, which are really cool. So I'll show you what our live streams are like. You can choose between our 3 feeds. We have Stickam, Ustream, and Just TV. You can choose from either of them. So I'll go ahead and load up Ustream, and you can see what it's like. It's really cool. I like it. So if you look now, you can actually see what I'm showing you.
Yeah, look at that.
Weird effect now.
Yeah, look at that. Hold on. If I could, maybe I could switch it for a quick second. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
And this is streaming live from Ustream now.
Yeah, that's actually really good, and I want to thank him for doing that. He made a great app, and he did it in very short time. I mean, he messaged me, and he's like, "Listen, is it okay if I do this?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Please do it." And he did it within like a couple days. It was up and it was running. It was approved, and it's an approved app now. We should put a link on our website.
Live content. You can actually watch our shows, any show that we post. So let's see, Tech News Weekly. You can see here. We can see all our episodes here. Latest one, episode 64. So I'll go ahead and play that for you.
Oh, look
Plays right away.
Oh, it's really fast too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
And there I am from last week. It's decent quality too. I really like this.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I guess it's a tie. It's a tie pick.
That's tie pick. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you
tied.
want to get this add-on for XBMC, you can get it from your Get Add-ons menu in XBMC.
Yeah, that's and also let's put it on the website also.
Yes,
with this
we'll
post.
definitely put it on the website.
Yeah, we'll put it with this post, and we'll make a separate post for people and instructions if they because he sent me instructions on how to download it, so we'll put that also, and people could go and download it, and of course credit him on the website. Really good picks, actually. I had fun.
Yep.
I have awful picks every week, but I think this week was good. Go to our website, guysfromqueens.com. Like I said early in the show, you can catch all our shows there. Archived. We're on iTunes. We're on the Zune. Subscribe to us. It's a big help if you do. Also, you can watch us live at gfqlive.tv. Coming up behind the counter at 6:30. They're already here. They're having fun. They have 40s with them. They're drinking already, so it's going to be a fun show. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Hover.com. Domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com. Get 10% off your entire purchase, and we will see you all next week. Good night, everybody.